Hello, 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 mi gente. All right, guys. So today is story time. I haven't done story time in like forever, right? So I felt like I want to do story time. Now, my hair is behaving because it's washed and it's has leave-in conditioner. These are these crazy curls. But hey, so today's story time. So, as you guys probably gonna read on the title, it's I married my sugar daddy. And no, guys, my husband was not my sugar daddy. He's my second marriage. My first marriage, you'll find about more as we talk. But yeah, you heard that right. I did have a sugar daddy. I did have a sugar daddy and I did marry him. He was wealthy. And, you know, let's just jump right into it, right? Alright, guys. So, how I came about being a sugar baby. Well, I was... I have to laugh. Hold on. I became a sugar baby by accident on purpose. One day I was watching True Life from MTV. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but I don't know if they have been continuing it or it's just something of the past. But there was True Life Sugar Baby. It was something like that. And I was watching the episode and I was like, are you kidding me? These girls are getting money for what? Just being their date? Just to go on a lunch? Just to go to dinner? Shoot, sign me up. So I was like what? So I watched the whole episode and I guess the website had sponsored for that or something like that because they showed the site. And it was called sugardaddyforme.com. And I was like, no way. Let's try it. I went on my phone. I made my profile. It was free. And at that time, it was free. You know, you could have paid to get like better upgrades. But I was like, I just want to see what's this about. You know, I put in like my location. At that time, I was living in Puerto Rico. So and then I started like writing like little messages like to like 2 or 3 guys. I remember it was the same day. I said, I found 2 or 3 guys. There was a lot older than me. At that time, I was like, what, 21? Yeah, I was like 21. And I had just had my daughter. And I was like heartbroken because of my daughter's dad. And I just wanted something to like just clear my mind. So I wrote to 3 guys. And I closed it and I paid no mind to it. So the next morning when I wake up, I got an email saying that I had messages written to me. So I go check it out. And there was this guy. He was 53. So wow, he was like, he could have been my dad. So we ended up talking. And I just gave him a shot. I didn't bother writing to nobody else because we was having a conversation. You know, he wasn't a perv. He wasn't like trying to get in my pants. Oh, how you doing? It was real conversation. And he asked me if I had children. I said, yes, I had 2 children. We were just having a great conversation. So I want to say like about a week in to talking to him. It had to be like about a week. I'm like it's been so long that I'm forgetting. It had to be like a week. He said that he wanted to meet me. And I'm like, oh my God. He was from Utah. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, well, I don't have no problem meeting you. And he was like, well, I'll pay your ticket to come to Utah. I was like, well. So I went and I spoke to my mom and I asked her, you know, are you willing to stay with the kids? And she was like, no, I'll stay with the boy, which is my son. And he was at that time like maybe like 1 year old. Literally, he was a baby. He was like 1 year old. And then the baby, she was a baby. She was like about a month. Let me see, I'm lying. She was like 2 months old. So she was like, but you have to take the baby because I can't, you know. And at that time, I really did understand because she was just like getting over the whole chemo and cancer thing. So I was like, okay, fine. I told him, I said, look, I will have to take my daughter. He was like, that's fine. Then my mom was freaking me out because she was like, oh my God, how about he kidnaps the baby? And how about he kills you? And I'm like, what? Like, you scaring the shit out of me. But I know she was doing it for legit reasons. But anyway, so the guy had told me that he owned a business. And he had told me the name of his business. So I Googled the business. Sure enough, it was true. He did have a business. And it was a pretty huge business. And sure enough, his name was there. It was close to the address he had told me he lived in. I had told him he had to take pictures of his license plates, of his license. I left that with my mom. Like, it was just funny how, like, I was making sure that I was going to be safe. Anyway, I ended up going to Utah. No, wait, I'm lying. Before I go meet him, he was already asking me about marriage. Like, am I willing to, like, ever get married? And I was like, you know, that's a possibility. And I asked him he would have married. He said no, which I found, like, really strange. And he asked me to get married over the phone. And I was like, what? But, guys, when he asked me this, it was like a week before we had to go on vacation. And and I remember telling my mom, and my mom was like, I'm getting my story confused. Anyway, I had told him, okay, yeah, and he went and he said, go to Western Union, I'm sending you some money so you can get some things for your trip. And to buy the baby a new stroller or whatever, so she could ride comfy and whatever. I said, cool. Also money like for a coat for the baby because it was like getting really chilly at that time. It was October and it was already nippy, and you know, so I could have like clothes that I lived in Puerto Rico, so everything was tropical, right? So I had to get clothes. So he told me to go to Western Union and pick up money. He never told me the amount. So when I get to Western Union, he had wired me $1,000, and I was like, whoa. This was within a week of talking. So I was like, oh my God. My mom was like, oh my God, he's legit. And I was like, okay. So I had bought the baby her stroller. It was a beautiful stroller. And then I bought myself some stuff for the trip and bought some for the baby to make sure she was good. He told me not to worry about diapers, nothing, that we'll grab it while we was there. And I said, okay, no problem. So I had gave my mom money. Then the next day he says, go back to Western Union. He was wiring me something else. And that at that time he was like talking to my little sister. She was like about what, like 7, 8 years old, maybe 9, pushing it. And she always had this like little squeaky little cat voice. So he thought she was adorable. So when I go pick up the money, it's like I think $1,500 this time. I'm like, what the and he goes, well, the $500, use it to buy your little sister a laptop or something. So, you know, keep her entertained. I think she's so sweet. Shoot, my mom took her to go buy that laptop that same day. And it was like, give my mom $300. And I had a little spending money if I wanted to buy anything for my house. I said, okay, cool. So this before he mentioned that he wanted to marry me. So now he goes and he said he wanted to get married like a day or 2, 3 days later. And I thought he was kidding. I was like, sure, I'll marry you. He was not kidding. He was like, okay, well, you need to do the paperwork over there because I want to get married in Puerto Rico. I want to go to you. So when you come over here to Utah to visit, I'll leave with you and we'll just go back to Puerto Rico and we'll get married. Now in Puerto Rico, in order to get married, is a shitload of paperwork. And then on top of that, you have to go to the labs to make sure you don't have like, you're STD free and whatever. and we needed to get those papers in at least 24 hours before we got married. So I went and started doing those paperwork. The only thing that was missing was just our lab work, both of ours. And he told me go pick a venue, and I didn't have that many guests coming. I swear to God, probably had like 35 people there because I didn't have that much family or friends in Puerto Rico. So we ended up renting a hotel in Puerto Rico. It's in Rincon. It's called La Villa Cofresi. And that's a hotel that my aunt would always stay at. And we loved the hotel. It was a beautiful hotel. So we go to, you know, see how much was everything. And they would do everything. They was doing the decor, the food, everything. Even the cake, everything, chairs, the canopy, because we didn't get married by the beach. Everything was going to be included. So I told him, yeah, I found this place. It's great. He was like, okay, fine. Put the lady on the phone. I put the lady on the phone. She goes to the office. He gave her his credit card information, whatever, over the phone. Boom. Done. He paid that. Then he goes, I'm sending you money through Western Union. Go pick it up. It was like about, I think, 2 transactions of $2,000 each. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it was like for me to go get a dress, to get the kids clothes, to get my mom a dress, to, you know, basically to start getting things in the way ready. And since my trip to Utah was going to be layovers, he wanted me to make sure I had enough money in my pocket, you know, so I could get myself something to eat, because the layovers are usually like 3 or 4 or 5 hours. Wait, sometimes is 8 hours. So we didn't know our layover because he hadn't bought the ticket first. Or some shit like that. I think he had bought it. No, he did buy it. No, yeah, he did buy the ticket, and the layover was from Puerto Rico to New York and JFK. And that alone was like 4 hours. The trip over here was like 3.5 hours. Then my layover was like 8 hours, literally. So I caught a plane from JFK all the way to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I was like, oh my God. So I ended up taking my daughter, I believe. I spent the day in my grandma's house, I believe. I don't remember those details too well. But then I went back to the airport, whatever. I had a great time. I ate. The baby was fine. She was still a baby, so she wasn't really fussy or anything. So we went to Utah. When I get there, he comes pick me up. I was like, flabbergasted. I was like, oh my God. He was not the best looking dude. And I'm not going to show you guys pictures or anything because I'm protecting his identity, of course. So, sorry guys. So, we get to his house and he had a housekeeper, maid. I just don't like using the word maid, but a housekeeper. And she was from whatever Transylvania is at, that's where she was from. Romania, that's where she was from. And she was the funniest person ever. So she was making me feel at home. So guys, we get home, we settled down. He even had a crib for my daughter. He had the kids' room ready. Well, besides my son, he had my daughter's room ready. Like, he was ready to be a dad. He bought her a crib, canopy, beautiful, beautiful. So he only had that in the room. And he was like, just because she was coming and he wanted her to make sure she had a bed. So anyway, so I'm settling down and I'm like in the kitchen and I'm talking to, I forgot her freaking name. But I was talking to the lady. She was an older lady. And we're talking and here comes my soon-to-be husband. And he goes into the fridge, he grabs an ice cream, and he goes to the room. Like, he was like, hey, how y'all guys doing? And I was like, we're fine. He's like, all right. And he goes to his room. Like about 5-10 minutes later, he comes back in. He throws out the ice cream. But I wasn't really paying attention because me and the lady was talking. And when I look at him, he smiled. Like, he had no teeth. I was like, what? Oh my God. He had no teeth. And I was like, are you kidding me? You just had teeth like 10 minutes ago. What the hell happened? The lady saw the look I had on my face, and she had to just go to the fridge and open the fridge and like chuckle a little because my face was like everything. He just left like it was nothing. He did not even tell me he used dentures. So I was like dumbfounded. I was like, I wanted to run home. So the lady was like, oh my God, you didn't know he had dentures? And I was like, no. She was like, well, he just recently got them and he takes them off often because they bother him. I was like, oh, hell no. He needs to keep them on. And she starts laughing. So now I was only there for like a weekend. I was not staying longer than that. You know, he showed me around his business. He told me that when I moved back, I could either stay home or I could work in the business. And I'm the type of person that I can't stay home too long. I mean, shopping is great and awesome, but I don't like staying still too long. So I was like, I'll work. So I was his secretary. Well, when I married him and I went back, I was his secretary. But we leave back home. But before we go back home, he had this beautiful big ring. And it was just gorgeous. And he had gave me the engagement ring. And he held on to his wedding band and my wedding ring. And we leave. We go to Puerto Rico. My mom didn't pick us up. We rented a car and we went to my mom's house. And my mom meets him. She was like real polite. Hi, how you doing? Whatever. You know, they got along great. We didn't stay in a hotel because I already had my own apartment. But I felt embarrassed because I was like, oh my God, he has money. I don't. And my apartment was like literally a startup apartment. It didn't have really much. I had a bedroom set. My kids had like their beds and a crib and dressers. But like my living room set, I remember we had bought it from a thrift store and it was ugly. But I just needed a couch, like a couch. So I had got it. And I remember with the little with the money he had sent me, I was trying to like make it better. I had bought curtains and stuff to spruce up the house. I had bought like an entertainment center so I could put my TV on because I didn't have like nothing holding on to my TV, but I think it was like a box. It was just crazy. So he never judged me. He came in and he came with his dog, Spot. Because his dog was like a sick dog and he had to always like give it medicine and stuff like that. So he was a sick dog. So they stood and he didn't judge. He didn't say anything. And I lived in the Caseríos, which is like the projects in Puerto Rico. So fine, whatever. We get all our labs done and we get married. I believe it was November 6th, 2011. Yeah, November 6th, 2011. And we left to Utah November 8th. So I had gave my mom the keys. I said, do me a favor, hire somebody to wipe out the apartment, try to sell what you can, and just give him the keys to the house. She was like, okay. But she didn't, and which I'm so glad she didn't. She was really smart. So when I get to Utah, it was all great, guys. I mean, I wasn't really attracted to him. I didn't really love him. I liked his personality, but I didn't have no feelings for him. It was just, I was getting married, honestly, to make sure that my kids had a good future. And which is the worst reason ever. Because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. You cannot sacrifice yourself for the kids. And he treated me so well. He took me shopping. He bought me all the beauties I wanted. Never asking how much. Never nothing. Beautiful black car that I could use whenever I wanted. It was just amazing experience. He was wealthy. This is what I've always dreamed of. I never had to touch a dish again because the lady would do the dishes. There was a dishwasher. If I was hungry, she would cook us food, or we would just go out and eat. It was just the life I've always wanted. And he had me spoiled rotten. I remember he had a office down in the basement, and he moved his office up to the attic. It was like a little attic he had. He moved his office there. It was beautiful. And he gave me his old office. And we bought furniture. I had a beautiful table. It was like a living room in there, which would have been awesome now for YouTube, but not. He had the bottom room. There was a bottom room he had set for my mom. We had bought furniture in it, so my mom come to visit. We was renovating the bottom because he never paid mine, so he was always working, so he never did anything with the bottom. So we was like buying furniture, sprucing it up. It was just amazing things that we was doing. But when it came time to have sexual intercourse and sleep together, that's where things got tricky, because I didn't want to have sex with him, and I didn't know how to tell him that without him being upset, you know. So I remember I went to Barnes and Noble and I bought me a shitload of books to read, literally like 20 books, and I would sit in the living room on the recliner with the lamp, and I would read every night till I fell asleep on the couch, just so I wouldn't get into the bed with him. And I would do that constantly, or if not, I would sleep with my son, and I would tell him, oh yeah, he was scared, so I had to sleep with him, you know, he's still adjusting, which he was great in understanding these things. So if I slept with him in the bed maybe once or twice, that was a lot, because I would always lay down. Those couple times I did lay down, he was already knocked down. He was a heavy sleeper, so I would just knock out. But he never disrespected me in the way of trying to like look for me, you know. So Christmas time was coming. We bought shitload of decorations. We decorated the outside of the house. We bought this freaking super huge tree for inside the house. It was a real tree too, and the tree had to be like 12 feet because it was just super, 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 super huge. You know, we bought everything to decorate it. We decorated it like a family. I had came back with my son, so we had made his room into a Cars room. That's when Cars was like out, and we made everything Cars. We bought him a racing bed. We had bought everything. We had put the baby's room into like a princess room. It was like a beautiful princess white room. It was just gorgeous. We had the best Christmas ever because all my kids got a shitload of toys, and mind you, the baby was a baby. She was not gonna play with nothing. So we bought her a whole bunch of toys. He had bought me a diamond necklace. Like, he really didn't know what the heck to buy me because he had already bought me everything. But it was around the holidays, guys. I was really like slumped for Thanksgiving because I didn't spend it with my family. I was homesick. It was like my first time being away from home or from family. So now Christmas time is coming. Woo! I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry. That is crazy. I don't know what the hell is going on. All right, hold on. So Christmas time was coming, and give me a second, guys. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. So Christmas time was coming, and I was like really becoming depressed. And he used to smoke cigarettes, and so did I. So we used to leave through the kitchen door. There was the big garage, and it was like it was heated. So we would sit there, smoke a cigarette, and be warm. And I would like go out in my robe and I'll smoke a cigarette. So one day, it was like after Christmas. It must have been like a day or two after Christmas. He comes. I was on the phone with my sister. I remember it as clear as day. I was on the phone with my sister, and it was with my older sister, one other sister I'm not talking to right now. And I'm on the phone with her, and we're talking, and I was outside smoking, he wasn't. So he came in storming in. You could tell he was mad. He was like red. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, I'll call you back. I hanged up, and I'm like, what's the matter? What's wrong with you? And he was like, what's wrong with me? We've been married for a month and some change, and you don't even have sex with me. You don't even lay with me. Like, what are we doing? I said, listen, you know, I think this was a mistake. You know, I'm not comfortable doing all those things. So, you know, just give me a divorce and we just call this a mistake and we could just stay as friends. He said, I'm not giving you a divorce. No, I'm not giving you a divorce. You're my wife, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like in a rage and he was so mad. And it was like to the point where I felt like he was gonna really hit me. So I was like, if he hits me, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill this dude. All right. So he was like really to the point where I snapped because I kept asking for divorce. He was like, he was not gonna give it to me. That I was stuck with him. And I'm not stuck with nobody. So I remember I grabbed the kitchen knife and I chased him. Chased him around the kitchen table because I felt like he was gonna hurt me because he kept on screaming. He was coming so close. I just grabbed the knife and I was like, you're gonna give me the divorce? He was like, no. And then like after I chased him about one time, he goes, fine. I'm gonna go to the office right now, come. I put the knife down, we go to the office. He goes onto the website to the courts of Utah. He petitioned it online, he printed it. All he had to do was go the next day with me to the courthouse and pay the fee, and they'll stamp it, and the process is already done. Because we didn't have no children, we was just recently married, and plus I had signed a prenuptial agreement. So basically I was leaving with anything. So that was fine. I was aware that I was going to leave with nothing, but at least I know that I had the experience of living this life, and I just wasn't happy, and my happiness for me meant everything, because if I wasn't happy, how would I be able to make my kids happy? So we filed the next day. We go to the courthouse. Yeah, he paid the fee, whatever. And I was like, I want a ticket tonight to leave. And he was like, no, please don't go. Can you at least spend the New Year's with me? That's the least you can do. Then you could go after that. I said, okay, fine. I felt like I at least owed him that. But that was like the worst mistake I did. Because the couple of days that I had there, they were miserable. He was downing me. He was dogging me. He said that I was nothing, that he made me into something. He trashed me. And I remember he gave me one big duffel bag. Like, it was like huge duffel bag. And he said, make sure that you fit yours and your kids' clothes. Me and my kids' clothes. I had a shitload of clothes. He had bought me so much things. So I was like, what? I said, well, I need more luggage. He was like, well, you could do a carry-on for you, one for the kids, each. Well, my son was paying a ticket, so he got a luggage. So my carry-on, I gave it to my daughter. And it was like the big duffel bag was going in, and another luggage with my kids, like toys, was going in. So I needed 2 carry-ons, which was like the kids' clothes or whatever. I couldn't bring much back. I left so much things behind. And it was all right. So when I was leaving and we get to the airport, he goes, we didn't talk the whole ride there. I remember we got in the car. We didn't speak. We get to the airport. He helps put the bags down. He opens his wallet. He gives me $100. He goes, that's all you're getting. And he leaves. He didn't even help me. I had a baby. I had the stroller, the car seat. I had the baby. I had my son that he was 1 year old. I had all these luggages, and I'm over here crying. I was literally crying because I didn't have no help. There was nobody outside, and it was freezing. And I'm like struggling. So I go, and I'm like with my son and my daughter. I'm with the stroller. And the lady, I remember there was this nice lady. She runs inside. She tells somebody that there's somebody outside that needs help. So the people from the airport come on. They help me in and whatever. And it was like the most difficult thing ever. My layover to New York City was like a 4-hour layover in New York City. So I was there just waiting my daughter. And I got back to Puerto Rico. And he left me with nothing. And I didn't give back my ring. And I was stupid because I didn't know the value of the fucking ring. And it was well over 20 grand. And I pawned it for a measly $500. bucks. $500 just because I still had my apartment and I needed a washing machine. So I decided, hey, I'll just buy a washing machine. I think I paid $300 for the washing machine, and then I had $200 left, and I was just pocketing it just to survive. So yeah, that was really interesting, right? So I'm lucky that my mom never gave in the apartment. I'm really lucky and blessed that she didn't. But I also felt good. I felt free. And immediately after I got back to Puerto Rico, me and my daughter's father got back together. But that didn't work out at all, because I was like so used to being cared for, and he wasn't doing anything. He was like literally, in other words, a deadbeat. Like, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't paying no bills. He wasn't doing anything. I was doing everything on my own. So I was like, what the hell I need him for? I kicked him out. And his other daughter's mother came to pick him up. But this was such an experience, guys. It really was. And it's something that now I can laugh at. Do I still stay in contact with him? Well, when a year later, after I met my husband I'm with now, when I moved to New York, we spoke, and I remember he sent me like $500 through PayPal, because I had told him my son was starting school. Never asked him for anything. He was like, well, I'm going to send you some money so you can get him some nice clothes for school. I said, all right, thank you. He sent it to me. Never again did I hear from him, or did he send me any money. And I'm lying. When I met my husband, we still talked, and I wanted to meet my husband. I was living in Puerto Rico. He lived in New York. So I asked him, can he buy me a ticket to New York City? He said, for what? I said, well, I just want to visit my family and my friends. He was like, okay. And he did buy me a round trip ticket for 2 weeks. So he did buy me that ticket. That's why I met my husband. And that's why I said he had sent me $500 to PayPal. And that was that. I lost contact with him, and then I got back in contact like a year after my mom died. So that was like 2000 last year. We got in contact, and we spoke for like about an hour or two on the phone, and he was like helping me catch up. And he wasn't aware that I was married, and I had told him about it, and he wasn't too pleased at all to hear that. Because I was also telling him, like, you know, I couldn't find no work here in New York. Do you think that maybe I could go to Utah and just stay in the guest room downstairs while I work like at least 3 months? 3 months, that way I could save up some money, and then I could come back home. He was all for it. Yeah, sure. But the minute he found out I was married, oh yeah, he stopped talking to me. I haven't heard from him ever since. So yeah, guys, that's a crazy story, ain't it? And it's very, very true. But you know, it is what it is. You learn from your mistakes, right? And I sure did learn from my mistakes. So guys, this is the end of story time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you got a kick out of it, and you guys are learning a lot more of me, and I appreciate that, because you guys are my YouTube fam, and I want to share these things with you. So alright guys, give this video a big fat thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below on what you thought about this story, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to my channel. I tend to upload every day, and the days I don't, I always leave a notice on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on my platforms. They will be in the description box down below. And yeah, why don't you join the YouTube family? Press that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when a new video drops. All right, guys, that's it. Bye bye, and until next time.